Kyle, you know what day it is?
Yay!
First Friday of the new year.
Oh,
I'm done. I can't say it anymore. Today we're talking about flying high, falling short. CES, VinFast, 4 more dealerships, and a cyber flop. I couldn't get a done.
Couldn't do it. You had 2 days running. You were ready to go.
I almost botched the intro on the first Friday of the new year.
First Friday of the new year. You had to do that to yourself.
Dude, I didn't even realize it was Friday when I was driving to work.
Well, it feels like Thursday.
You texted me and you're like, hey, where you at? I'm like, oh, I'm in the car. He's like, I was like, do we have a meeting? I was like, oh, it's Friday. Doesn't feel like Friday. It's the week and the days and the new year and the holiday. But it'll be nice next year to be next week to be back to a regular week.
I feel like next week is it's like this week just kind of still doesn't exist. It's like everyone's kind of wake. It's the big yawn. It's like
the big yawn. It does kind of.
It's a big yawn. Like next week is like it's ground running.
So. Very, very much. Good morning, everybody. Across the platforms, Instagram, the new platform we're on. We're excited to be there. I mean, we've been on Instagram, but the show hasn't been on Instagram. Right. And that's just because Instagram wasn't playing nice with others. They opened their API, and now we can broadcast from StreamYard. And here we go. Life is getting good. Hey, in just a week from now, we're going to be in Washington, D.C. at the Public Policy Auto Show put on by the Washington Area Auto Dealer Association at the beginning of their big car show. So we're going to be on site talking to probably some policymakers, legislators, OEMs, industry experts, and lots of dealers. A lot of dealers are going to be at this thing. We've never been to this event. I don't think we've ever been like boots on ground as a Soto in DC before.
Not in this way.
Definitely not in this way. So it'll be a little bit new for us, but we're excited. I mean, a lot of familiar faces. And also we all know big show NADA 27 days from now, we will be rocking and rolling full production crew. If you've ever seen the More Than Cars show and you really like the way it was shot, we're going to have our full team from Nashville in to be producing the show, producing content at a lot of our industry partner friends all over. And so if you are an industry partner and you want some coverage at your booth, some podcast content, some video content, we have the best crew in automotive who help us shoot More Than Cars and makes it, produces our events. We're all going to be there trying to bring some of that magic to your booth and to your people so that this industry can find out who's a good fit for one another, right? That's what it's about. Yeah. Like it's really hard to say this product is better than this product in this industry because no two dealerships are the same.
They're not the same. They operate differently. They have different needs, different clients, different locales. And so that's the benefit of just understanding what the landscape is and how it mixes with the rest of your tech stack even, right? Yeah. Because your tech stack may be different and you may need to plug things in a different way. So all super valuable. And it's just information that we want to provide to make sure that connections and conversations happen quicker.
Oh, something about that. Connections, conversations. And if you're super early bird, SotoCon tickets in May are actually live now.
You can hit that up.
SotoCon.com. And we're going to be announcing speakers and things like that. It's going to be Maryland, May 14 through 17. We're going to have a lot of fun. But let's talk about some news today because it's Friday and we have things to do.
Yeah. Speaking about conferences.
Whoa.
Stop. Segue. Time.
Speaking of conferences, Paul sighs and lowers his shoulders and his head a little bit because we really want to go to CES. One year. And now when we see like our friends like Steve Greenfield and Jeremy's going to be out, like when we see some of the crew speaking at CES, we get super jealous. But CES Consumer Electronics Show 2024 is gearing up to start next week in Las Vegas. But this year, there's a reduced field of major automakers. It's been a big play for automakers in the last several years, but not this year. However, Hyundai's air mobility division called Supernal and Honda as well are trying to steal the show with their latest innovations. Hyundai is going to be revealing its eVTOL, so electric vertical takeoff and landing concept when the show opens, as well as its plans for like a progressive airport type thing that is going to shuttle people at some point, not this year, from the Las Vegas Convention Center to and from the airport, which is going to be super cool.
Oh, so dope.
I mean, that's an attention getter. And to think that like the automotive industry and auto dealers are now a part of the aviation industry because of this combination of companies is pretty exciting. Honda is planning to launch a new global electric EV series highlighting its new EV technologies. They also are going to unveil 30 new EVs, including battery and fuel cell models by the year. Oh, we can play the play. I don't even know where the button is anymore. In the year 2030. Yes, by the year 2030, Honda's going to release 30 new EVs, so we'll see how that actually pans out.
See how that plays out.
But they're also going, it's more like a dreamy state. That's why that soundtrack is dreamy. it doesn't really exist.
Right. Yes.
But they're also going to reveal the latest concept update of their collaboration with Sony called Affela. And so that was exciting last year. I think it'll be exciting this year. Gary Shapiro, CEO of Consumer Technology Association, said the elephant in the room.
Here it is. Give it to him.
The big three will not be exhibiting on the floor, highlighting significant absence of these major automakers. No driverless tech, right? It was the big conversation the last couple of years. Everyone's like, maybe we should stop talking about it just a little bit. So
yeah, if Tesla can't figure it out, then the rest of us should probably just take a little back seat on that thing. The fact that the big three are not going to be there, including the fact that earlier this week, Stellantis came out and said they're not going to be at any auto shows this year, highlighting their change in their marketing strategy. Very interesting, because what we've been talking about the last couple of years is that the automakers leaning into CES is actually amazing, because CES is a technology first environment. And that's where all the vehicles are heading. Like, if I was going to go to any event as an automaker, I would be focused on CES, because those are the people that are paying attention and early adopters in some of this new tech. Like, why would you go to regular auto shows? You would want to go to CES. I'm confused.
Well, some of the excuses that for the rationale why, people brought up the UAW strike, which I don't think anyone who knows about profitability in the auto industry actually believes. Because when you're talking about CES, again, a little bit naive here in thinking budgets, but it's hard for me to believe that you couldn't spend like a few $1 million,
right,
and have a nice presence at CES.
Yeah,
as General Motors.
What are you talking, like $3-4 million bucks to be at CES
and have a nice presence, right? Highlight some of the cool things.
100,000 people showing up. Come on now.
And maybe it's more about the distraction of the strike. I don't know.
Sure.
It doesn't make a ton of sense, but we're rooting for Hyundai and Honda to have a great show, and to bring more people into this ecosystem of retail auto, showing that, like, hey, we're a part of consumer culture, we're a part of pop culture, and that's only going to grow, and we should all be pretty happy about that. Speaking of being pretty happy about things,
segue,
and bringing more people into the ecosystem, and speaking about people we're rooting for, and there's a lot of segues for this one.
So good. This is kind of like a double story, but in a follow-up to a story we've been following for quite a while, Vietnamese EV maker VinFast has quickly announced 4 more dealer locations after their initial one that they announced earlier this week. So Smith Haven VinFast in St. James, New York. I don't know where that is. It's probably down by the city. Principal VinFast in Grapevine near Dallas. We know exactly where that is. We're going to send Michael Cirillo over to have fun. Hiley VinFast of Fort Worth, Texas. So 2 in
Great
kind
dealer.
of in the vicinity.
Yep.
And VinFast Wichita, which is in Wichita, Kansas. Definitely a little bit of a spread there, but you kind of understand why they're all there. So this is a quote from the deputy CEO of sales and marketing for VinFast. This is an important step, affirming VinFast's commitment to expanding its retail sales network and shortening time to deliver our products to the market. And probably, and this one we'll jam on this for a while, one of the most interesting developments is that the Megadeal acquisition that was just announced, employees were notified on Wednesday. 25 Leith stores are set to close by the end of Q1, being sold to Holman, New Jersey dealer group Holman. And Leith was the first dealer announced in the VinFast network. So Leith is like, we're the first dealer. We're opening our dealership right down from the factory. And like the next day, it's like, by the way, we're no longer Leith.
Bam. Yeah. Holman may leave them as Leith because they've got a rich history and they're a large dealer group in that area, but they are going to be owned by Holman. Holman pushes the boundaries on new innovation. They even have their own tech arm.
We've had some conversations with people.
Yeah, with Bill Karras, who leads their basically their VC side of stuff and their technology acquisition side, as well as a massive commercial and fleet operation that's super innovative in the way that they go to market and leverage technology. So it's no surprise that they would be interested in a group that's close to the VinFast place, that has the first VinFast location. Like it's an easy way to think about not just the revenue that 25 plus locations can bring to you, but also the interest that something like VinFast can bring. So it's going to be a quick close. It looks like, Leith is a 56-year-old organization. And so I think it's a great acquisition. It's a great plan. Here's the other thing. I've actually had 2 friend DA conversations over the past 2 days that their dealer groups are in deep talks with VinFast. So I bet you're going to see just announcement after announcement.
I mean, they said they're 100 in the next year.
Yes.
Right. So we are going to, and it'll be like, so when we read the initial like car and driver reports and the reviews of the VinFast, they were very, very disappointing. Yeah. Right. Like the quality, the battery range. So I've been thinking a lot about what this does for the brand of the dealer and who is willing to put their neck on the line from a brand standpoint to say, we're going to get behind this new entrant into the market. And granted, they are dealers, but like, look, I mean, like there have been situations in the past where like Daewoo and like some like low quality vehicles have entered through dealer networks and it wasn't good for the dealer. So I'm sure there's a lot of attention being paid to that. VinFast, obviously very well resourced, supported by Vingroup. And so this is actually pretty exciting to see how this first, Fisker is going to be doing. It's exciting to see like little new energy in the dealer network. So speaking of being disappointing.
Segue.
Time.
So in a revealing independent test over a 5-hour live stream, which
very
is quite wild. Tesla.
It's fun to scrub through, by the way.
Yeah. I did
beginning
that
and the end, mainly.
It's like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah. Tesla's much anticipated Cybertruck demonstrates a highway range significantly lower than its EPA estimate, raising questions about its practicality in certain conditions and overall efficiency. So the YouTube channel Out of Spec Motoring captured every single minute, literally, of the test from charging the vehicle to 100%, and then they fully depleted the battery. They fully depleted it. There were 4 passengers, no payload. The temperature was 46 degrees out. And instead of getting 320 miles out of the charge, they got 254. And to top it all off, had to be towed to the nearest charger because they underestimated their ability to get there.
Hold on. I just had to play the sad part of it. Actually, the last part, they already decided, and you wouldn't have known this unless they decided that they were going to run it until it stopped. So they actually weren't that far from the last charger, but they did have to put it in tow mode, and they kind of displayed how you get it in tow mode. And I was curious on how the steering, because it's drive-by-wire, steer-by-wire. Like, it's not, but it still worked. So I don't know if it left a little in the tank. You said it like steered harder than it usually. I don't understand how that works. There must have been some power, but I mean, so we linked it up. It up.
I mean, there's definitely like, it's been very clear that there's power left in the tank in all of these EVs at some level.
Yeah. Right. So, right. When it stops the wheels from that's a good point, right? Opening door latches, controlling steering. Look, it's a pretty disappointing thing. Fred Lambert of Electric, the media company Electrek, he said that's not great. I would have expected, he's a huge Tesla fan, I would have expected closer to 270 miles an hour at that temperature. So, and in the video in the beginning, the driver, whoever it was, went around, he's like, how many miles do you think we're gonna get? So the highest guess was 300 and the lowest guess was 270. So they all overestimated, but 250. I was looking at a Kia EV9 yesterday, just like, oh, let me see this thing. Like, I'm a Kia guy. I've always liked their cars, and they're available, and there's a lot of hype around them. Let me like go configure one and look at it. And I was like, 280 miles doesn't like do
which is probably 220 to 230.
I don't know. But then I started thinking like Tesla has chronically overstated miles in the past.
Right.
So I mean, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it gets the same mileage as the Cybertruck.
Maybe it does. Who knows? Right? Nobody really knows.
I think that's case in point, right?
And it's 3 degrees outside in Syracuse. So I wonder how that
slightly, but they were like, it was so cold, 46 degrees. I'm like, maybe that's like winter coat weather in Austin.
For you guys.
But like 46 is like, we're practically in the pool. Like, I don't know, right? What does that do in the temperature right now? I think it did go down to 19 last night, right? So if your car is parked outside or even in an unheated space, like what's the range on a trip? Like, I don't know. But regardless, I mean, I think it's just indicative that we're all trying to figure this out. And what I don't like about it is it just puts all these seeds of doubt and distrust in everybody's mind to where we just don't believe anything. And that's bad. I think that's bad for everybody.
It's not good for anyone.
No,
I'd rather see success happening and celebrating that. So.
Well, there's definitely plenty of success going around in the industry. You are a part of it. This community is part of it. We hope to be a part of that as well. Kill the first Friday, destroy the first weekend in the new year, and let's have something to talk about on Monday.
Let's go.